All right, so you guys have seen this mess 1,000 times. And we're not focusing on even getting to a point where it's more organized in here. Our only goal today is to get this bed out of here, take it down and take it into the back room. And then we're gonna put the twin size bed from Jeremy's office in here because that's what Joe wants. I'm going to clean this out because the majority of this stuff is gonna go. So we can argue over whether Joe should have done it or not. I'm like not going to even justify it. So the whole point of today is I'm going to go through here and throw a large majority of it out. I seriously doubt any of this stuff is able to be donated just because it's broken and in such bad shape. But this is going to the back room. We're going to take it apart and move the other one because that's what Joe would like. He said he'd like a smaller bed in here. And honestly, it may do better, but I'm not even worried about what's going to make this room more easy to clean, easy to whatever, because in the end, it doesn't matter. It just depends on the person. So, and right now the person is an 8-year-old boy. So the 42-year-old mom is going to clean it up. But we're going to start with this area right here, going through all this, going through all that. I think the majority of this can be put up and thrown away. Same with that over there. I just believe that's all old notebooks, dirty shoes, broken stuff. The real thing is going to be is what is under here. Maybe the mess isn't that bad when we get the stuff out of here, but honestly, it's still pretty bad. But we're going to get started with this over here. I've set a timer for 20 minutes, and when my 20-minute timer's up, I'm going to stop, take a break. Alright, so what video of mine wouldn't be complete without a disclaimer of some sort? So my footage got flip-flopped around, and you're going to see the after shots before the befores. Before the middles of the befores. So you guys have seen me in Joe's room multiple times before. I had no intention of coming up with a system that would keep it clean, but it was pretty simple. And it's kind of funny, because a lot of people will be like, why don't you just do this? Well, this one time I actually did. I just threw everything away. It's not that dramatic and extreme as it sounds. Joe does not play with a lot of things. He has a box of Matchbox cars, a shoebox that he sometimes plays with, and he has a box of Legos that he sometimes plays with. For the most part, camera did fall on me twice. I think you guys only see it do it once. Oh my goodness. So anyway, he doesn't really do a lot of that stuff. He likes to play like with people and just that type of stuff. He's not really into playing with the toys anymore. So I was able to just pretty much pitch everything. And it's stayed clean because there's nothing to mess up. I say that, and kids are really good for, making a mess out of air, but it's been great. And he slept in his room again too. Again, like I said, with the actual painting and upkeeping the room, we'll get to that eventually. Updating the room, we'll get to that, but for now, it's great. I have to say though, this is something that I have been struggling with. I don't talk too much about the bipolar 2 disorder here. I have mentioned it a couple times, so it's not a secret. But one of the things my therapist was concerned about is she said that once people are diagnosed with 1 or 2, and they've been medicated for a while and things have kind of leveled out, they tend to struggle a lot with the guilt of things that they have done, when they were undiagnosed. For myself, for the most part, I haven't struggled with that too much, but this day in particular, and a couple days this week, I've kind of been struggling, and not necessarily with guilt, but just how unrealistic, really unrealistic my expectations were for myself when I was living in the double wide with Jeremy and all of the kids, and they were all at home. I really thought that I was capable of taking care of the whole house without help, and homeschooling the kids without help. That is ridiculous. If you were capable of doing that and keeping your sanity and not being miserable, oh my goodness, I absolutely, you hang the moon. That is fantastic. I don't know how that's possible. I'm sure those things are, but at the expense of something. So it's that's what I was telling Jeremy. So I got really overwhelmed with the fact that I can't do this on my own. I shouldn't do this on my own. He never expected me to. Nobody did. I wouldn't accept help. You guys see right here, this is where the flip-flop. So that is something that I've been struggling with this week, just trying to get a grasp on it. And Jeremy and I were talking about it. He said he feels like I've jumped too quickly back into the role of trying to do it all again. And I actually said the opposite to him. I was like, I feel like since I've been back, you've gone an extra mile into almost making it seem like I feel like I don't have to do anything. So we're both kind of in different, on the same page in different books. Like we both think the other one's doing too much. So we talked about it the other day. He's like, you're just gonna have to tell me what needs to be done. And he's like, and I'll make sure it gets done. And so that's something we're working on, is I'll tell him what, what needs to be done, and he'll get it done. I just have to be okay with it not being the way that I want it exactly, because otherwise it's not going to get done. So I'll just be thankful and grateful that somebody is, going to do it. And so I am struggling with that. I am struggling with the wasted time that I feel like I had of being frustrated and mad and disappointed with myself for thinking that I wasn't doing enough. So that is something recently. I don't know if it's necessarily guilt, but I mean, there's nothing I can do about it to fix it. I can just move forward and accept that this house is too big for one person, even if the kids weren't here. It's a large house. There's dust, there's dirt, there's stuff that needs cleaned, that needs updated. It's a very large house. There's a large piece of property a fairly nice piece of property that needs a ton of upkeep. So I don't know why I thought I had all this time and I was capable of doing that. Like, it's not, in my mind, maybe I'm wrong, but in my mind, it's not humanly possible. So that's what's been on my mind lately. And that phone hit me on the back, reminding me, because I've just been super irritated this week. And that's, just really been going through my head. And I just got to learn to be okay that sometimes there's going to be messes. That is not an excuse to have a messy house or to have something gross or, something like that. Like, we still need to upkeep and do everything. It's just finding a balance that you're okay with, because everything's not going to be done all the time. But, then again, there are some people that are capable of taking care of things and being content with moving, like that's how they're happy, is cleaning all the time or having like the bare minimum, and like a minimal house is what I mean. I'm not actually talking crap. Our house just isn't like that. We are getting there though. We're all getting to the point where more things are leaving the house than coming in. But I was really pleased with how much I was able to get out of this room. I did not think it was going to make as big of a difference as it did. And Joe has not noticed. He has not noticed a single thing. He has not asked me about anything that was missing. I didn't do the mommy thing, or not the mommy thing, but that, where you go in and you throw stuff away and you don't tell your kids. I just went in there and threw broken stuff away, and stuff I knew he didn't play with, that type of stuff. Like, it wasn't any like type of sneaky stuff, but I was able, he still, even when he was obviously finished, the room was different, he still didn't notice what was gone. Okay, so the plan was to get this bed out of here and put it into Joe's room. I don't show you guys that on camera because it was just easier to move and take apart without the film, and I was getting super aggravated anyway. But we moved Joe's desk from the little trailer into here. We did move Joe's old bed into the back room. I was really trying to avoid turning that into a little junk area, but right now it's just kind of, we have no other choice. We got to figure out what we're going to do with the stuff yet before we start storing things. But this is still going to serve as an office. Jeremy set the desk up over here where the bed is for me, so I can do my school stuff and then my YouTube, my editing and all that. So I haven't got in there yet. It's been a couple days. I still haven't even had to make it in there. I've been working, and it just seems like we've got so much going on. But that's okay. I'm okay with taking little baby steps. Like, that's all I have to be, because I don't have time to be aggravated. I'm aggravated at enough stuff right now. It gets too hot. Oh my gosh, so you guys, I've been loving this weather. It's been like 40 some degrees in the morning and then like 70 in the afternoon. I love it. But yeah, so I took the bed apart, moved it. So to keep up with the theme of this channel, which is disorganized, I'm going to skip right after this shot to a food haul, and then we're going to go back to the showing you guys what all I finished and what we did and future plans for that. And then we're going to end, again, going back around with folding clothes. All right, Kroger food haul. I spent $74.06. I saved $40.96 in coupons and in discounts. Plus I got 2 times the fuel points. So the cereal was $3.99, I think. Ended up being $3.50. I got 2 of these. They were on sale for $7.50 with a coupon. The Freschetta pizzas, I got 5 of them. They were $3.99 a piece. We'll probably be eating those for dinner. Black grapes were $1.99 a pound. They're supposed to be $1.49 a pound, so I don't know what happened there. Strawberries were $6. These were $3.50. These were on sale for 99 cents if you got 5. Well, you could get up to 5. All of them, so I got 99 cents. I got those. I don't know how much this was, $2.79 I think. Hamburger helper was 99 cents when you bought 5. The milk was on sale for, I think it ended up coming to $1.19 after the coupon and the discount. And I got 2 of these to go with the hamburger helper at some point. It's not a lot, but still saved quite a bit, and when you consider how much everything else is, it's not too bad. Okay, so I need you guys to keep in mind that we're moving stuff. So that's why everything is still a mess. Now here in about a month, when stuff is still a mess, then we can start pointing fingers at me again. So Jeremy I didn't film any of this because there was so much going on and we were tired, and it just wasn't realistic to film, and it wasn't enough content. So Jeremy took the theater seats out of here because he and I both keep piling stuff on. And right now our goal is to get the bedroom together so we have some place to go to get away from the rest of the house and kind of calm down, make it our sanctuary. If you guys remember my blue chair from the trailer, my leather chair, it's gonna go over here in this corner. We brought my camel saddle over here and my other footstool. So this area is still a work in progress, but Jeremy and I both decided we wanted this out of here. Now we moved it into the living room where we think it may still have stuff piling on it, but baby steps. We got to focus on making this bedroom a sanctuary. Is it sanctuary? Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know, just some place to come and get away from it. Pictures and stuff, we're going to redo all that, but that is going to be the very last thing we do. We're focusing on stuff. Now these are my clothes from the house that came from my dresser. This is going to go into the living room as well. We just don't know where yet. Okay. So that right there is stuff from the vanity. Let's go on in here, make sure there's nothing in here. Okay, so we took the vanity out of here and brought it to the little trailer. It's gonna stay at the little trailer. We have some plans for what's gonna happen to that next, but we're gonna wait until that's in the works. But we're all pretty excited about it. So right now, anyway, the vanity will stay over there. But I took this dresser and it fit perfectly in here. So this is where my clothes are. All right, so now I'm gonna take you guys into the living room, and it is messy. And there's Mr. Harold. That is where those were originally when we first got them, and Jeremy and I both like them, so they will stay right there. Hi. Joe says hi. Okay, so we didn't want to do this in here, but like I said, when we get into future plans, you guys will understand why we were okay with this temporarily in here. Funny thing about that, I took that out of his room about a week and a half ago to see if he would notice, and he still hasn't noticed. Okay, so, all right, now let's go and see what we did in here, because you guys just saw me take that stuff out. Okay, so that is Joe's desk, so it's going to be my desk for now, for a place to do my coding and that type of stuff. I don't know what we're gonna do with this stuff. We'll figure it out. So yeah, and then there is Jeremy's desk. So we still have a lot to do in here. But this is kind of the idea. I'm gonna do like my editing and my coding and all that, and then when Joe's ready for this back, he'll get that. Okay, and then the last area is Joe's room. And ta-da! So, if you guys notice, there aren't any toys in here at all. Got rid of all of that stuff over there. His room, the walls and everything else, they need a ton of TLC, but he's an 8-year-old boy and we have not really been that strict on him, as you guys can tell in his room. So we plan to paint here in the next couple months in here and finally put the trim on the floor. But Joe was tickled with this, absolutely tickled. So he's at that age where toys just really aren't a thing anymore. But if we can kind of keep this up like that, I think then we'll go ahead and paint. But it needs a lot of work. And you guys know he doesn't really sleep in here like he did last night. And he had been there for a while. But then with all the moving stuff, we kind of ended up back on the couch because that's where he likes to sleep. But hopefully this will be a better situation, more permanent. But yeah, there's a lot. This used to be an office. You guys, I don't think have ever seen that. I don't think I was doing YouTube at that time. But there's like 1, 2, there's one back over there, 3, 4, 5, 6 outlets. And it was ridiculous. There also used to be cabinets all the way around and then all the way down here. And it was, I guess it was just a makeshift office, but it didn't work for us. So that's why we pulled it out and turned it into Joe's room. Eventually, that's probably what it'll go back into. But right now, it's just maintaining the mess. And honestly, I feel like his bedroom right now looks like one of those rooms you see on those TV shows where the room is like completely hoarded and gross. And this is like the best they could do. I didn't deep clean it though, so I'm sure I could get a lot of that stuff off the walls, but we're just gonna paint the whole thing. He wants to update his pictures and stuff too, so. But that's on the back burner for that right now. All right, y'all. So I hope wherever you're at, you all are having a blessed one. I love you guys so much. I will see you in the next one. I don't know what's going on next Wednesday, but I'll have something for y'all. Probably pick up where we left off. All right, y'all. Bye.